Sweet and seductive fragrances for women. Some of these are actual gourmand, like food-related smelling fragrances, and other ones are more just natural sweetness. But regardless, all of these are pretty sweet. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with more of a niche option, which is Hypnotizing Fire from Harmonist. So this is very unique in the fact that it's kind of a spicy, sweet, unisex option. It actually has pepper in it, like chili peppers or red peppers or something like that. I think it's called pimiento, the type of pepper that they use. They also use other spices like some cloves and like heavier notes like patchouli, but then also the sweeter notes, primarily vanilla. That's really the main sweetness comes from, is the vanilla. This is kind of like a fragrance experience, a journey, because first you get like these hot spices and then you get the sweetness that it kind of goes back and forth. It is called Hypnotizing Fire, so I guess it's meant to kind of mess with you like that. This is just fun to wear, if you like that whole spicy sweet thing. It is actually very attractive, very seductive, hot, warm type of fragrance. It's also extremely strong. You don't have to wear a lot of it to get the desired effect, and it will last pretty much all day, like at least, minimum 7 hours. It's probably going to be more like 9 or 10. And it's just a very unique smelling fragrance. There's not too many fragrances that at least I've smelled that smell anything remotely similar to this. So you'll definitely stand out from the crowd with Hypnotizing Fire. And again, it's just kind of fun to wear because it's all over the place a little bit. But if you're not into the whole spicy sweet thing, maybe you want something a little bit more subtle, not quite as crazy, then another kind of, I guess, niche option is from Jovoy, specifically Remember Me. It's sweet, but it's not like this crazy, cloying, gourmand type of fragrance. This is actually kind of like a sweet tea, milky, creamy type of fragrance. I've reviewed this before, and I've said that it kind of reminds me of when you have black tea, like, Earl Grey tea, you add some milk or cream into it, and some sugar, and it smells just like this. And that's because this actually has a tea note, a vanilla note, a milk note, and some other things in it, but primarily it smells a lot like tea and milk, since, vanilla sweetener or whatever you put in it. But this has more of a mild sweetness to it, and it's actually a very kind of cozy, warm, comforting, just attractive type of fragrance. For that reason, it has that more mild approach to sweetness while still actually being relatively sweet. And the tea note is actually quite nice as well. It has that kind of dark, heavy, like black tea type of smell to it. This is very versatile as well because it's more on the subtle, smooth side, kind of more natural. So definitely you could pretty much wear this anytime, anywhere. It doesn't really matter what time of the year it is, what season, that sort of thing. So this is kind of a good go-to option if you want a good kind of general fragrance. Now, it isn't super strong in terms of projection. It's kind of more of a moderate to intimate type of fragrance. And longevity is more like 5 to 6 hours, but again, it's meant to be more that mild, soft sweetness. So that's kind of just something to consider. But definitely, if you're looking purposely for a more mild type of fragrance, this is a very good option. Now, if you want something really, really strong, like the opposite of this, then I would say from Kerosene Follow. This is crazy. This is like the craziest, strongest, sweetest coffee fragrance I've ever encountered. It's pretty much just it smells very similar to coffee liqueur, real coffee, and then just like a whole bunch of vanilla, and really sweet vanilla too. Now, the coffee note that it has is actually very realistic. It smells actually like you just got a whole bag of, coffee beans and you just ground them up, it smells just like that. So if you're big on the smell of coffee, you're probably gonna like this quite a lot. But it's also extremely, extremely sweet. So if you're not a huge, like, gourmand sweet fan, you might be a little bit put off by this. You know, maybe you just prefer some more mild sweetness, but this is definitely very, very sugary and with its vanilla note, and very strong. This is gonna last like 10 hours. Like, you will not have to reapply this. You will not have to put that much on your skin to get the desired effect. It's kind of like a balm. You have to be kind of careful with it when you put it on. But this and the other one, Kerosene Followed, very similar to this, but a little bit with a little twist. I think it's a little bit heavier than just the ordinary Follow. But in general, if you're looking for a strong, sweet coffee fragrance, this is absolutely going to do it. Then, moving on to one that most people have not heard of. This is Spark from Liz Claiborne. This is primarily a caramel type of fragrance. Now, as far as I know, there's no official kind of boozy notes, but it smells very boozy to me. It kind of smells like brandy or rum mixed with the caramel. So again, even though that official note isn't really in there, it smells a lot like that. And the caramel is really nice. It has that warm, kind of burnt sugar type of smell. Now, here's the weird thing. The projection is really strong, but the longevity is not great. Longevity maybe about 4 to 5 hours. Projection really, really good. It's going to spread across the room. Kind of an unusual thing to happen, you know, that mismatch there. But this is a very, very cheap fragrance, affordable. So you could put on as much as you want, you know, throughout the day, reapply it, and you really won't be wasting any money. So that's a bonus for that. And if you like caramel, like warm, sugary caramel notes, you're definitely gonna like this. Moving on to the last one, which I quite like. If you're looking for a more subtle type of sweetness again, then I would say Mancera Roses and Chocolate. Now you would think roses and chocolate, this is gonna be a really cloying, chocolatey bomb, you know. On the contrary, this actually is a very smooth, bordering on the natural side type of fragrance, which is actually nice because some fragrances, when they try to put chocolate into it, it just doesn't smell good. It smells very synthetic. This does it right. It really has a natural kind of cocoa powder type of smell, you know, cocoa bean or whatever, you know, they make chocolate from. Plus the rose, which adds a little bit of sweetness, but it also balances out that heavier, earthier chocolate note. And in general, it's actually just a well-balanced fragrance here. Moderately strong, about 6 to 7 hours of longevity, pretty good projection. But again, if you're looking for a more mild sweetness, but still pretty prominent and still very attractive, this is definitely a good option to try. But that is pretty much my list here of sweet and seductive fragrances for women. If you found this video helpful, of course, you can always leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos like this throughout the week, so don't forget about those.